And I just, oh, okay, oh, yeah.
No.
Anybody want candy?
You have to find it? No.
I knew you were a good decision.
I know you were just so right.
I had a focus group today, and this was their reward for participating. Yeah, it's always
I went home and I started. I actually.
It has literal art.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So sweet.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, no, it's afternoon. Good morning, everybody. I'm Tomas Bilbao, and I'm the Executive Director of Branding and Communications at Thunderbird. That means I'm the person responsible for the fact that you guys don't have really cool T-shirts and apparel yet, but we're working on it. What we've been working really hard on for the past few months, believe it or not, it's been like 5 months we've been working on this, is Tbird Connect. How many of you have ever heard of My Thunderbird app besides you? Okay, so 3 people. Years ago, Thunderbird was on the cutting edge of using the internet to connect its alumni network, which makes sense given that we have chapters in 140 different countries and 35, 40% of our alumni network is overseas. It's a good way to connect folks. But of course, the problem that was designed back then couldn't be updated, right? Technology kept moving and My Thunderbird app stayed where it was. Believe it or not, it still exists. And so there are still people who log in today. I'm not sure what they do on there anymore, but they're on there. And so we've had demand from our alumni network for a long time to create a replacement to that. I don't like to think of Tbird Connect as a replacement to that because it's certainly not apples for apples. This is something that's much more enhanced. And I think the most important part about this community platform is it's not just an alumni app. This includes all of our faculty and staff, and more importantly, all of our current students. So today, we're starting the onboarding of all of our graduate students. So in the next few minutes, you should receive an activation email in your inbox that will have a activate your account now button. And when you click on that, you'll be able to create your profile on Tbird Connect. Anastasia is actually going to walk you through the process of activating, creating your account, updating your profile. Well, I just want to take a little bit of time to explain to you what we're trying to achieve with the platform, right? The goal of it is to inform, connect, and engage. So very frequently we get feedback from alumni, from students, faculty, staff. I have to read Das Tor, the one that the Tribune, the staff emails and all that to get a full picture of what's going on, right? There's a lot of different communications. There's different social media channels. What Tbird Connect does, it brings everything underneath one hub on an app that you can download from the App Store or Google Play and have on your phone. This will allow you to go in, get the latest news about the school, find out about a specific program. If you're a member of a student group, we've started out by launching 5 or 6 student groups. We're going to be adding the rest in the coming weeks. So you'll have spaces, virtual spaces, where you can find out the latest information about anything that's going on across the Thunderbird community. That means that you can even find out, if you're traveling to Paris, what alumni are in Paris that are in the industry that you're interested in, and you can say, hey, I'm going to be in Paris, would love to have coffee with alums, let me know if you're there, and they'll connect with you. It also means that you could go into if you're a student of the eMagam program in Washington, D.C., you have an eMagam group where the students that are part of that program can post events, information, have conversations, post photos, videos, etc., just for that cohort. So that's about staying informed, right? Then we obviously want you guys to be able to connect, and that's why we have that feature that allows you to search. We also have an instant messaging feature that allows you to communicate directly with folks. And there's other features in there that helps you connect with one another. And finally, engage. The reason we're creating this is because we want alumni to engage with students. We want students to engage with each other and with alumni and with faculty and with staff. And so we really want this. The platform is only going to be as good as the information and the activity that we put into it. So we've spent a lot of time creating the platform, creating the groups, populating it. But then, of course, it's up to the users to actually use it. I suspect that on Facebook, very little was happening in the first days, unless you wanted to see what Mark Zuckerberg was up to. It takes time for people to go in and publish enough information that it makes an interesting place to go. So bear with us as we get to that point, but the onboarding of the graduate students today is an important part of that. There's 545 graduate students that we're going to be onboarding today. Then we're going to move on to undergraduate students. We've already onboarded over 2,000 alumni. Staff and faculty are on there. And so you guys are going to be the first big group that we're onboarding all at one time. The idea of this tutorial is to walk you through that process of creating your account and familiarizing you with the different features that are available in Tbird Connect. We have hopefully folks joining us on Zoom, and we're going to be recording this and sharing it with so that people who aren't able to join us can participate as well. We're going to have a second session next Thursday, February the 13th, same location, room 7:30, same time, 1:30 p.m. Arizona time. And so those who couldn't make it or want to come back, you can let them know that they can come then. So Anastasia is Associate Director of Branding and Communications. She's been this is her brainchild. And so she's going to be walking you through the process of onboarding your account.
Yes. Hi, everybody. If you have a laptop with you or like iPad or something, I'd recommend maybe using that to register if you can. You can do it from the phone, but if you run into some glitches, it's because the mobile tends to give issues, and the desktop version tends to be a little bit easier. So if you do run into those issues, I'll try to go around that for you and still get you signed up today. But if you do have a computer or laptop, please pull it out. I do find it to be a little bit easier to start setting up your profile and getting registered a little bit easier. So as Tomas said, we actually sent each and every one of you guys an invitation to your email. So I recommend jumping in your email inbox if you can and seeing if you received an email that says, welcome to Tbird Connect. Have any of you guys already submitted a request to join and you're waiting for it to be accepted? Okay. If you have already done that, I'll be going through those names today of graduate students. So you're going to receive a response from me, not from me, but from Tbird Connect that's saying, congratulations, you've been accepted. And it'll let you guys complete your profile. So if you've already sent a request in and you're just hanging in limbo, it's because you weren't onboarded yet, so we weren't able to accept your request.
In fact, Alejandra, we can go into the request now and
Yes.
start approving all the current students.
If you actually want to let Alejandra know up here that you've already submitted a request for Tbird Connect, please do, and she can go in the back end and go ahead and accept you so you can get in. Did you do it online, like where you said request? Yes. So see her, and then you're probably in like a, what is it called? Limbo, in a limbo queue, and we can now accept it now. When you guys first did it, the current students were not uploaded yet, so I couldn't accept you. There was nothing to connect you to. Perfect. So did everybody get an email, or does anybody have an issue? Nobody got one?
Okay, so just so that you know, we sent the email directly out from the platform, and it sends them out in batches. So what's going to happen is in the next hour, you'll receive your activation button. If you haven't received it yet, watch Anastasia as she goes through the activation process. It's very simple, but that way, once you get it, you'll be able to run through the process.
And I'll also show you guys, if you don't receive it at all, like let's say 6 hours from now, you still don't get it. After I show you what to do with the activation, I'll show you just how to quickly request an invitation. And then today I'll be going through those all day long just to make sure I'm adding people on. So once you do receive the email, it'll just say, welcome to Tbird Connect. You'll just click on this yellow button that says log in to Tbird Connect. And at this time, it's going to ask for you to sign in with your email. It'll give you an option to sign in with LinkedIn, with Facebook, with Google. My recommendation is to sign in with your email, especially if your Thunderbird email is not connected to those other 3 platforms. And that's the email that we're sending out your invitation to. So it just makes it a lot easier to connect the 2 accounts together if you sign in with your email. And you should be using your Thunderbird email.
Tbird email.
Is it tbird.asu or thunderbird.asu?
Yeah, I think that for students, it's Tbird.
So Tbird, so it's your tbird.asu.edu email. So if you haven't checked that email address, that's where they're going to. So you'll sign in with your email. There's mine. This is where you're going to create your password. I'm just going to create something generic.
You should know that when we uploaded all the users to the system, we put in your name, the program that you're in, the year that you expect to graduate. And that way we know the people who are requesting to join are actually folks who should be authorized. So there is some information about you in there already, and that's what allows us to make the connection. If for any reason that information doesn't match or something, you can always reach out to us and we'll update that. But you should know that there's at least that basic information in there. That's what allows us to match you.
And anytime you guys email the Tbird Connect email, that goes directly to me. So if you email Tbird Connect at thunderbird.asu, it goes directly to me. So it's not just floating to some random person. So if you message that, it does go right to me, and you'll hear directly back from me. So you're going to put in the shared city location. This is the city location that you want people to see where you're located at. So if you're based in Phoenix and that's where you want people to kind of know where you're going to be headquartered at, that's the city you want to put in there. You do not have to include your address if you do not want to. It's up to you. That's why they give the option to just share your city location up here if you're somebody that doesn't want to have this additional information in here. It's not necessary to sign up for the platform.
The advantage of having the address is it allows us to keep our records up to date. So when we print the alumni magazines or the Thunderbird magazines, when we ship out, your degrees and the degree record and all that, we have the latest information. You can decide whether or not you share that information publicly. So you can still make sure your information's up to date, but not share it publicly on the platform.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
He takes me to the ASU, not the Tbird.
It's the same, it's
It should
But I
be-
don't have access to my Tbird. So is it the same?
Yeah,
Like
it should
here?
go all the same, yes. The Tbird is more like a vanity to the ASU. So like even for staff here, we have our Thunderbird, it's still asu.edu. It'll all go to the same place. It's just a vanity so that we're still branded. Okay, so once I click login, you guys, oh, sorry, I'm not cool enough with my password. Let me be more creative.
The good news is if you forget your password, there's an easy forgot my password request link on the login page. And if you choose to later link it to your LinkedIn or something, then you can use that. I suggest you just give it its own password and let your phone or computer remember it, and that just makes things easier.
Okay, so once you get to this point, it will give you the option to import some basic information from LinkedIn. Like it'll import your profile photo from LinkedIn if you want to do that. I think it does import to like, not the education, but just like city.
No, unfortunately, LinkedIn changed the information that they share with everyone when there's integration. Now they only share the name and photo. So all this is going to help you do is import your LinkedIn photo, which hopefully is the photo that we took for you guys. So you had a nice professional one, but you can load up whatever you want. You don't have to use your LinkedIn one.
Mm-hmm. So if you do, it will give you a profile photo here. If you don't want to do that, I suggest adding a photo. Otherwise, you'll just have this random letter and people will not be able to really identify you in some of the other features that I'm going to show you. You can change the header, but this is just a general one that'll pop up for everybody. Yep.
The activation link seems to be going to some people's junk folder, so make sure you check that.
Oh, good to know.
And what is that email coming from? What's the email address people, or the subject that someone can search from?
It should say, welcome to Tbird Connect.
The Thunderbird School of Global Management.
Okay.
If you do find that it goes to your junk mail, I'd probably like add that to your accepted emails, because if you do decide to sign up for like notifications from the platform, I hate for you to like miss stuff because it's going to your junk. Okay, so once you guys get to your platform, you'll see that it's pretty general right now. This is all the information that you'll be able to add. You can add your citizenship. You can add your resume on here as well. I recommend to take some time and really think about like your summary, just like when you're building out, bless you, your LinkedIn profile. Even though this is for engaging like with each other, this is also an opportunity for alumni to visit your profiles. So you want to still be professional on this because it could be an opportunity for you. And I'd hate for you to leave these sections blank and miss out on those opportunities because you didn't add some skills in their industry, or you didn't think about adding a summary on here. If you need to add any additional email contacts, you can also do that as well. So obviously right now we're using the ASU one, but if you want people to have a general email contact for you, you can add more than one email on there.
Anastasia, sorry to interrupt again, but
Sure.
if you scroll down to the map, I want you to make sure that you understand that if you do put your physical mailing address in there,
This is where it will show.
the dot will not show up at your house. The dot will show up in the city only that you've chosen.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm going to show up saying, why haven't you been on Tbird Connect for the last 5 days? I do know that information, but I will not be able to find out where your house actually is. So don't worry about your privacy beyond the city in which you're located.
Yes. For me, I really like the portfolio section because this is where you can showcase some of the work that you've done. Also, I think it's a good place to upload a video if you have like an elevator pitch. I don't know if any of you guys have done that. That's always good things to add to profiles. Please make sure to do things like updating your education and things of that nature. You don't want to just have this page sitting here looking stagnant. Like I said, it is an opportunity for you to reach a larger demographic. Some of the features you'll see at the top, just so I can kind of lay this out, you'll have your profile info. You'll also be able to just see your own personal recent activity. If you have friends or not coworkers, but peers, alumni, faculty that you want to be able to follow and kind of keep in contact with, there's an ability to actually click a star next to them, and I'll show you how to do that, but they'll be added to your favorite users list. So if there's just people that you want to be able to stay connected with, not just generically, but you want to be able to have a list of them, you can do that. And then events that you're connected to will also be listed here. So if you're part of different groups that have different events, you'll actually see your events popped up in one location. And then, like I said, you have your portfolio. The portfolio is awesome because there's no limit to how much you can upload. So if it's like a 50-minute video, you can do that. It's not going to limit you to that. Did you see something? Okay. Great.
Well, the only thing you can't change is your affiliation.
Yes.
So we've decided that you're all graduate students and that's your affiliation. Once you graduate, we'll change that to alumni automatically, but that's one of the fields that you won't be able to edit.
Right here. And we could, and if you come to this, you guys, and this is inaccurate, please let us know that so we can make sure it's updated appropriately, because you'll miss out on being parts of groups you're supposed to be in if that affiliation is not correct. So some of the fun features that Tomas brought up was the Find a Tbird feature. This is one of my favorites. Look, there's Terrence right there. He's in there. But you can actually find people by just their first name or just their last name, a combination. You can actually type in a keyword. I'm pretty sure that I can do, let me see, I think marketing was like one of the options. So if they put that as like a skill, it would pop up people that were connected to marketing. So let's say I was looking for people in Phoenix and they had a marketing background. Let me see, I can't see this. Phoenix, there we go. So it's gonna show me everything everybody in the Phoenix area that has put marketing as one of their skills, that's in Phoenix. And you can go directly to their profiles. Oops. By clicking their face. So this is Esley back there. Now, if I want a direct message, let's say I have some questions, okay? I want to meet with somebody about marketing. I could click on send a message, and I can send a direct message to Esley right from the platform. As a current student, it is your responsibility to use discretion with this, because we are giving you access to a large alumni network. And that comes with that comes a lot of responsibility, because obviously we don't want the alumni to be bombarded with DMs from individuals saying, I need a job, come, call me right now. Or, you know what I'm saying? We want to be respectful when we're reaching out to people. So just use your professional discretion when you're reaching out, and just kind of be, just recognize that this is a privilege to be able to connect with people like that. And even with each other, use discretion when reaching out to each other. So that's just one of the features is, like I said, being able to connect. You'll see your professors on here. You'll see staff in here as well. So this is an awesome opportunity to connect with people. The news is where we're going to be able to just update you on what's going on here at Thunderbird. Also articles from our knowledge network. You'll be able to kind of keep up with some of like the research that your professors are doing and actually share that to our broader network. This for me is really about you being able to engage and to actually spread the work that Thunderbird's doing and highlighting why it is that you go here, especially with Professor Javidan working with NASA. I mean, that's a story that I want to share on my LinkedIn to say, hey, I'm a Tbird and these are the type of professors that I'm learning from. So it's really easy to do that. You can click the link that you want to share and it'll allow you to share it outside of the platform. You cannot share it from one platform within it, but you can share from our platform out, if that makes sense. One of the big things, you guys, is the events section. I don't know how many different areas you guys currently now have to go to in order to check what events are happening here. How many WhatsApp groups you're probably involved in that you're like, if I get one more WhatsApp message, I'm gonna lose it. You know, I'm sure that that's a struggle for a lot of you guys. Our goal with Tbird Connect is to actually minimize, if not eliminate, the need for that. So that way, instead of you having 17 WhatsApp groups, you'll have the groups that you're connected to on here. You'll have one place where you can actually see all the events connected to you, any events in your area. You can have all the communication from your group and your organization in one area, as opposed to multiple different areas, multiple different email communications. I'm sure that that's you're already in graduate school, so I'm sure that that's just one less headache that you'd like to have. Yes?
Is it just a list view like this, or is there a calendar view?
This one has, I'm pretty sure that you can, doesn't it give you an option to export?
Well, in the search, you can say, I want to see stuff between certain locations or certain days.
Yeah, it's like right here, like the next 30 days,
Yeah.
upcoming.
Now, keep in mind, we have 140 chapters. Not all of them have their groups in there yet. We'll get
Yeah.
to that in a second. But you will find that if you want to find stuff at a more granular level, you want to find out when the campus ambassador's next event is, as one of the 30 campus ambassadors, there's a campus ambassador group and they have their own events posted in their own group. So whereas there's a global view for, you know, big events and all that, you can also within the graduate students page see all the graduate students events. Within the campus ambassadors page, see all the campus ambassador events. So there are levels that allow you to drill down more specifically for the information that you're finding. But you can always also search there.
Yes. Yes.
Events, like if we are doing Thundercares or things like that, that are for alumni or for current students, how can we add it in there?
So what'll happen is we have what are called chapters and groups. Each organization within Thunderbird actually is going to have their own group. And that's where you can actually add events to that. If they are major events that are going to be on, that need to be on a global scale, we ask that you email us and let us know, hey, this needs to go out to the larger community as opposed to just our certain group or just our current student group.
Yeah, a good example of that is, this is the landing page for groups. If you just go back 1 second and you see where the categories are, you can filter by current students. This will give you all of the groups that are specifically geared towards current students. So Thunderbird Return Peace Corps volunteers, Women in Business, Share Fellows, Campus Ambassadors, Rotary Chapter. If you scroll down to, for example, current graduate students, and you go into that group, everyone who's a current graduate student is already in this group. And you can post events to this group that you want all graduate students to be able to see. So if you're trying to promote, you have, what's his name, Andy, the professor who gives that presentation about soccer and what it says about globalization, then your group is hosting it, you can publish it here to the graduate page and all graduate students will be able to see that event.
And if you have your push notifications on, which you'll be able to adjust up here, they'll actually get notifications when things are coming up. Yes.
So as an example, like regional night, that's an example of a group or an event that you guys do that we promote to the alumni in the Phoenix area. We want that to go out beyond just current students and have more people know about it. That's the kind of event you would let us know about so we could put it on this larger global event list.
Yes, thank you, Petra. Yes, that's a perfect example.
Yeah, keep in mind what we're trying to do is at the global level, if we post every single event of every club and every chapter, then you'll have to scroll through 600 events to find what you're looking for. So at the global level, we want to have, you know, the big picture events, the groundbreaking, the regional night, the open house, that kind of things. And then within your current students, you'll have all the events of your current students, and then even smaller within the Thunderbird student government, they can have just internal Thunderbird student government events.
CMC has done a really good job of setting up their page so you can get an idea of what we're talking about. So when you are starting your group up, it's really important to make sure that you are setting your group to be able, so if I visited, I know exactly what it is you're doing, what you're looking for, and that there's content available. Right now we're starting with 5 student groups and we'll be working with each group. And I know that Terrence and Diana and Kelsey will be working with you guys as well to help you guys get your organization groups up and running. And so that way we know that they're set up appropriately. But one of the things that I want you to see is the event section. So now when you guys join the CMC group, everything that's associated with CMC and the events for CMC are in one place. And when you click on that, you'll get all the details about that. You'll get any links you need, all the information you need for that event in one place. Yes.
So if a new club is created, we have to contact you to get that platform out
Yeah.
there.
And you'll see suggested improvements on the top right. That's a way for you to submit feedback to us, either about things that aren't working, or you want a new group, or you have a problem with your password or whatever. You can always email Tbird Connect
Yes.
at thunderbird.asu.edu, but you can directly from the platform send us information. So keep in mind, we don't want to start out with 6,000 clubs. So we're focusing on the existing clubs and the ones that we know. But over time, I could see where we'll develop a number of clubs we never would have thought of. And it could be, at some point, it could even be, I know we don't use study groups here, but you could even end up with, this is a cohort within the MGM that started in the fall of 2020, and that cohort wants to have its own group. That's certainly something that can be done. We have to use a certain amount of discretion. If I propose, Tomas's group of friends who love poodles, that's probably not something that's going to endure or have enough followers or activity to justify having a separate group.
Yeah. Do you have a question? Yes.
An idea. I love the fact that everything is in one place. But I have a question as a CA. Can people who are interested in Thunderbird get access to this?
No,
No.
this is a Thunderbird community platform. It's only for the Thunderbird community. Now, caveat. When we were choosing vendors, one of the reasons we chose this vendor is because there are a number of new features which we'll be adding over time, one of which includes a mentoring feature. So there is a possibility that when students are admitted, we could give them access to a restricted version of the platform so they can interact with students, so they can do their mentorship with the alum or the current student without giving them the full access. And then of course, once they start, they, as a current student, get access. What we don't have is for prospective students to go in. Because you can imagine, and this is important for you guys to know because this is the value of the platform. You guys have access to 45,000 global leaders on your phone, right? This is the kind of thing that people would pay a lot of money for. So it's a privilege that's afforded only to members of our community. So we wouldn't open this up to folks outside the community unless, let's say, we have a partnership with SpaceX and we say, okay, well, we're going to give Elon Musk an exception so that he can be on our platform. That being said, it's unlikely that we would open it up to anyone from the outside. Terrence?
Sorry to interrupt your presentation, but the CAs have to run to our meeting. Is that gonna be okay?
Yeah, that's fine, as long as it's not all of you.
Most of them.
All right, that's fine. Keep in mind the following. This is being recorded. We will share it. You should have an email today in your inbox with an activate button that allows you to log in. If for any reason you do not receive that activate button, then you can just go to t-birdconnect.com and click the request activation link.
We should wait until the end of the day to do that though.
Yeah, wait till the end of the day, because I noticed yesterday when I sent out the invite for today that the emails were being sent out in batches. And so you may not be in the batch that's going to be going out, between now and 3 o'clock. I had no idea that every single campus ambassador was in here at the same time. Yeah. Well, we hope you guys were joined. For the benefit of those that are joining us on Zoom, we'll continue with the presentation, and also so we have the recording so that you guys can view later.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead, Anastasia, but let's speed it up.
Good. Also, too, what you guys can watch in here is the live feed of the new building, which I love as well, and keep up on updates on the new construction in the new building. Is there anybody that's currently in here that is going to be like managing or is like, I guess at the head of one of their a group or an organization? Okay.
I'm the editor and chief of Dotstore.
Okay. Awesome. So you're
I
one-on-one.
have questions about that specifically
Okay.
now that everyone is gone.
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, there's still people joining us
Yes,
online.
I'll wait till the very end so they can just give it. But
Well, I think what we should do, if you don't, I don't have a problem with us generally showing how a new group is created and how you would manage that process, just so that we have that in the recording.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that the idea isn't for every user to be able to create their own group. That's why we have the suggest improvements link, so that that suggestion can be sent to us and we can create the group with you, make you the administrator, and show you how to create and manage the group. The platform is powerful not just for the user, but also for the administrator of a group. For example, say you're a chapter leader in Chicago, right? And we help you create your group for the Chicago chapter. That not just allows you to have the platform, it also allows you to have the member list of everyone who's a member of that chapter, and an email solution that allows you to send email communications to all the members of that group and push notifications. So, for example, Earl, if he's managing the current graduate students page and he wants to send information to all current graduate students, he can do that directly as the administrator of that group. So for the Dastor, you may decide, okay, well, we're going to use the email application in Dastor to send to all of our subscribers who've joined our group, Dastor, right? And then I may also want to create a news article and ask Anastasia to post it globally. That way Dastor is visible to all 45,000 members globally. So those are things that can be done. So Anastasia is going to show you how we would create the group for you. Just know, those of you who are watching the recording or are on the live stream, that this isn't a feature that you can go in now and create your own group. It's something that requires administrative authorization for us to create the group and work with you to develop it. Make sense?
I'm not going to show the group portion. I'm just going to see show what it looks like when you're an admin.
Okay,
And
great.
you have, because you wouldn't be creating a group, but you would be able to see a different background and a different setup when you're an admin. So I made this test website an admin on one of the groups. As soon as you become an admin, now you'll start to see an admin panel button. So once you see that, you know that you're in charge of some group in some capacity. I've made myself, or this test one for the CMC. When you click on the admin button, it'll show you what you have admin access to. So it's going to show me here that I have admin access to groups. And then it's going to show you what group you have admin access to. I have admin access to the CMC group.
Maximize the window so we can see.
Let me see.
There you go.
There we go. So this now gives me the option now to edit this page. So now I'm on the back end, and it gives me an opportunity to make updates or add video, add a description, specific categories. And then if one of my big things is being able to add links, like if there's outside web pages that you want people to be able to visit that are connected, like Dastor has, maybe outside web page that you want people to go to that's not housed in this platform. You probably want to have that in your links section. if you have social media for DOS Store and you want people to be able to connect with you that way, you can add your social media on here as well. And then and your contacts, this is who you would put on there that the people would contact that are joining DOS Store. So you can actually post in our live feed and say, hey, alumni, if you want to know what's going on with DOS Store and you want to be able to follow the work that we're doing, follow our group page, and they can follow your group page.
If you scroll to the right a little bit, you'll see that you have the option to add multiple contacts.
Yes.
And you can even rename that group contact. So you could put editorial board and have the members editorial board. And on the branding communications page, that contacts is called team members, and it has all the members of the team.
And then you can also do, I like the widget plugin if you have like a Facebook or a Twitter that you guys are posting content to frequently, because it'll show up in the feed as well if you add it as a widget. So these are just some of the things that if you do decide to set up a group, we'll actually set up a meeting with you so we can sit down with you and go over how to set it up, answer any questions that you have, because we don't want you to get in here and just be blind and not know what you're doing, and you won't be able to maximize the platform. You actually have a news feed on here too, so you can publish your stories.
So I graduate in May, but I would like to be an admin right now. What happened? So as soon as I graduate, I lose my admin privileges and they go to somebody who has to request admin privileges, or how does the swapping of the admin privileges?
We actually can do all that on the back end.
The only thing is, when you are granted administrative rights to a page, it's your responsibility to manage the handoff, in the sense that as you're leaving, you need to tell us who you're handing administrative access over to. And that may be a current member of Dastor who isn't yet graduating, or if you don't have anybody because a new class hasn't come in or whatever, then we can hold on to the administrative control of it until someone new comes in and hand it over to them.
Can you have multiple administrators?
Yes, you sure can. I would definitely take advantage of the news feed on here. You can actually, when you create a news post, you can actually tag groups that are associated with that. So let's just say you're, let me see if it'll let me do, it won't let me do it. So normally you can, when you're on here, you can tag, like, let's say I was the Phoenix chapter or something with something that was associated with the story that I was publishing. When I publish it, it'll actually show up in their news feed too, so they can see it. I'm gonna think if we're gonna do DOS Store that we'll probably wanna, on our end, create something specific so we can see you guys show up on the news feed, just so that more alumni can see the work that you're doing.
The power of being a group administrator, if we go back to the view of administering, you'll see members. You'll be able to, on the member side, we can actually add members. For example, if you're a membership, like campus ambassadors, there's 30 members of that. We can automatically have those members added to the group when it's created. If it's Dastor, then it's more like Facebook, where people will follow you, and that's where those people will show up. But then you can use other elements of this, for example, the campaigns, to create an email with the articles or an article or whatever that you can actually send to the members of that group. So it's powerful in the sense that you're not just reaching on the platform, you can reach them in the inbox as well. But again, as an administrator, that also comes with the responsibility of not spamming people.
Yeah, so with this campaign, so if I want to just send a message to the members versus just the followers, is there a differentiation?
There is not in Tbird Connect yet. So usually closed groups, like Campus Ambassadors is a closed group of 30 people, and only they receive that information. When you're an open group, anyone can join you, and that makes you a member, and so you can't distinguish between, say, the board of directors and people following the page.
But you can filter out a list, though, for campaigns, if you want to.
In theory, yes, you could.
Yeah. So yeah, so even if you're just logged in as your regular view too, if you go to the CMC page, if you're an admin, you'll see manage group like this too. So you'll see it two different ways on any page that you're considered an admin for.
Yeah, so what Anastasia was saying about the filtering the list, when you go to that members tag, if you don't mind doing that, when you go to the members tab, it'll show you everyone who's a member, who's following Dastor, for example. And you can actually see how they're all there?
Mhm.
You can then go through and check or uncheck, check just the people you want to receive that email. And it will only send it to those. So if you only want to send it to 10 members of the editorial board, you can just select the 10 of them, and that email will only go to those 10.
Mhm. Yeah. But you do that you can do that in the campaign.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
All right, so I just want to highlight the fact that these are the features that are available right now on Tbird Connect. We have other features that we're going to be bringing on board soon. So for example, and this is one of the things that goes back to what Anastasia is saying, that's a very important reason why you need to create your profile and make sure your resume, your experience, and everything's on there, is because one of the next features we're going to upload is a career and job section. So alumni can post openings in their companies, CMC can post important job openings that they found, and students can apply to those jobs and review those jobs. Alumni can as well. So if that's the case, if we know that alumni are going to be posting jobs and looking at folks there, and you may be interested in looking for jobs, having a full profile makes it a lot more attractive to an alum or someone looking at your page who may be considering you for one of those openings. So the first thing you want to do is check your inbox for the activation button. If you can't find it, check your junk box. If it's not in your junk box, just go to t/birdconnect.com and request activation. We'll receive that email, we'll verify, you'll receive another email saying you've been verified. Now you can connect, set up your password, create your profile, start exploring the different options and features of Tbird Connect. Remember, it helps you stay informed. The news section, the events section, all those things give you the latest information of what's happening across the Thunderbird community, right? We want you to connect. It allows you to start direct messages with different people, to favorite folks, to connect with your local chapter. And then finally, we want you to engage. We want you to comment on people's posts, tell people where you're traveling, find different ways that you can engage with the school and with the community at large. That's the idea of and the goal of Thunderbird Connect. Today, we're beginning the onboarding of current students. We've already started the onboarding of alumni, faculty, and staff. Next, we'll be going to undergraduate students. So the idea is that between now and June 30th, we hope to have a sizable portion of our community on the Tbird Connect app. And today's one of the first steps that we're taking towards that process. So thank you for everyone who joined us and had to leave. Thank you for our resilient Dastor folks, and for everyone who joined online or who will be watching later the recording. Thank you very much. We've put a lot of care and effort into this. Anastasia has, bled, sweat, and cried over the whole process. So we hope that you enjoyed as much as we hope you will, and know that it's a project in evolution, and that we'll constantly be looking for ways to make it better, and that your feedback will help us do that. So thank you very much. All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
Louder.
Thank you.
We need people to think there's less people. All right. So I'm glad the campus ambassadors came for